You have 10 days to live, everyone wants to kill you, and your last meal might be the thing that ends you. Welcome to life as a mosquito, the worst deal in the entire animal kingdom. Somewhere on this planet right now, a mosquito is dying, not from a swat, but simply because its body was built to fall apart almost as soon as it was assembled. Mosquitoes are, by body count, the deadliest animal on Earth, killing far more humans every year than sharks, snakes, and lions combined. But here's what nobody tells you. Being a mosquito is a terrible deal. It's a short, brutal, thankless existence defined by hunger, danger, and near certain failure. This isn't a story about how dangerous mosquitoes are to us. It's a story about how dangerous the world is to them. Stick around, because by the end of this, you might actually feel sorry for the insect you've spent your whole life trying to kill. Part 1. Born into a death trap. A mosquito's life starts with abandonment. A female lays 100 to 300 eggs on still water, a pond, a gutter, a bottle cap, then leaves forever. No nest, no guard, no protection. If that water dries up, gets dumped out, or has fish in it, the entire batch dies instantly. The eggs that hatch become larvae, wrigglers, filtering algae underwater with no legs and almost no defense beyond diving when they sense a shadow. Dragonfly nymphs, diving beetles, and fish hunt them relentlessly. Humans even breed mosquito fish specifically to wipe them out. Studies suggest only a few % of larvae ever survive to the next stage. Survivors become pupae, still mobile, still totally exposed, undergoing a complete bodily transformation while floating defenseless on the surface. And when a mosquito finally emerges as an adult, it has to sit still with wet, useless wings for several minutes, an easy target for any bird or ripple. Most of a mosquito's siblings never make it this far. The ones that do have already beaten miracle-level odds, and the hard part is just starting. Part 2. A life on the clock. Even in the best case, adult mosquitoes only live 1 to 2 weeks. No retirement, no long-life version of this species, just a countdown from the moment of that first flight. Here's a twist. Most mosquitoes never drink blood at all. Both sexes feed mainly on nectar for fuel, and males are physically incapable of biting. They live their whole short lives on flower juice, mate if they're lucky, and die within about a week having never hurt anyone. Only females bite, and not for hunger. Blood provides the protein needed to develop eggs. It's not a meal, it's a reproductive toll. Every bite you've ever felt was a female mosquito gambling her life to become a mother. Part 3. The blood meal, a suicide mission. To get that blood, she has to land on something dozens of times her size, pierce the skin, and then sit still, exposed and vulnerable, for a minute or more while her body fills up. She can't fly fast while feeding, and she gets heavier by the second. This is the single most dangerous moment of her life. An enormous share of blood-feeding attempts end in death, swatted or crushed mid-meal. Even if she survives the bite, she nearly doubles her body weight, making her slow and clumsy, easy prey for birds, spiders, and bats in the minutes right after feeding. And if she's carrying a disease like malaria or dengue, that pathogen is stressing her body too. She's not a willing villain. She's an unwilling, exploited carrier, just trying to survive the same as everyone else. Part 4. Hunted from every angle. Even outside of blood meals, adult mosquitoes are hunted non-stop by dragonflies, bats, birds, and spiders that treat them as a primary food source. Wind can blow them off course. A single raindrop, many times their body weight, can kill one on impact. Being cold-blooded and tiny, they can die from a cold snap or dry out from heat in hours. And then there's us. No other animal has inspired a bigger, more deliberate extermination industry. Repellents, bed nets, zappers, citywide spraying, larvicides, even genetically engineered mosquitoes designed to make their own offspring die. From the mosquito's point of view, humanity is simply its single deadliest predator, one working around the clock to end its entire lineage. Part 5. The math of failure. Here's the brutal arithmetic. Out of 100 plus eggs a female lays, only a tiny fraction, often estimated in the low single digits as a percentage, will survive to adulthood. It's a strategy called R selection. Produce huge numbers, protect none of them, and let sheer volume keep the species alive. Great for the species. Miserable odds for any one individual. And even the luckiest mosquito, the one who survives everything and lays her eggs successfully, her reward is simple. She gets to risk it all over again. No safety net, no easier second try. The exact same lethal gauntlet again and again, until almost always she doesn't survive it. Compare that to a honeybee with a hive, or a butterfly with a protected chrysalis. A mosquito gets none of that. No colony, no parental care, completely alone from birth to death. Part 6. Why this matters. None of this excuses the real harm mosquitoes cause. Malaria, dengue, Zika are genuinely devastating, and mosquito control saves lives. But understanding a mosquito's actual life reframes the story. A bite isn't malice. It's a desperate act of reproductive necessity from a creature that's already been through one of the harshest gauntlets in nature, with maybe 2 weeks left to live either way. If you tried to design the worst possible life for an animal, abandoned at birth, hunted at every stage, a required task that's basically a coin flip with death, and an entire dominant species actively working for your extinction, you'd end up with something very close to a mosquito. Part 7. Final thoughts. And yet, they persist. Despite everything stacked against them, mosquitoes remain one of the most successful animal groups on the planet, not because any individual has it easy, but because the species refuses to stop trying, generation after generation, for tens of millions of years. That doesn't mean you shouldn't swat the next one that lands on your arm. You probably still should. But maybe, for just a second, you can appreciate the genuinely brutal gauntlet that tiny insect survived just to get there. Being a mosquito might really be the worst deal in nature, and somehow, against every single odd, the species keeps showing up anyway. So the next time one lands on you, just remember, it had a rough week. If this changed how you'll look at the next mosquito that lands on you, let us know in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives into the secret, brutal lives of animals we think we already understand. And hit the bell so you don't miss the next one.